Niggas.
Go ahead.
Niggas. Nigga. What you niggas, N-E-G-U-S, of the royal kind, and niggas, N-I-double-G-S, what y'all are seeing right now are free people arguing over who got the best master.
This our show, and we talk about everything. Royal Flex the Brand's on Introspective Insight right now. Peace, love, and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I am KingDevDoe.
And this is Shannon again. I'm back, motherfuckers. I wanted to say it just like that each and every trip.
Little do y'all know that I was take two because I forgot to turn on the camera the first time. But this is RoyalFlexTheBrand's Introspective Insight Talk Show, the Black Wall Street Podcast.
Devin got so much business on his mind that he can't even mind his own
Business. So many business on my mind that I can't even mind my own business.
Come on, bro. What's up? You all right?
Oh, yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. You know,
Another day, huh?
another day, another dollar.
I see. You focused on $1.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Dedicated.
Noelle's not here this week, but she'll be here next week.
Yes, sir.
Just ran
Can't
into
wait
some
for the
life
actual group
stuff.
to get back.
That's a fact because we ain't been back. We ain't been on the show all together since Chase was on the show. That was the last time we was on the show together.
Oh shit.
So the word of the show is clement,
Damn,
which
that was a
is
minute ago.
compelling or pressing
Mhm.
or urgent.
Mhm.
And then the quote of the show is more business is lost every year through neglect than through any other cause.
Bruh, yeah, you're gonna have to use Clement in a goddamn sentence. I can't ever picture myself using that motherfucker.
Clement.
Clementia?
A clement need for reform.
Who
you
the
go.
fuck? Nah, nigga, we need real reform. Fuck that Clement shit. Nah, that's the only time I'll use
say
it.
though. Yeah. Nah. What, I don't know what you're talking about, Clement, but
we
we need
need
that
that
reform
real
right now.
reform. That Obama reform. Fuck all that. Man, I mean, it's a good word. I just wish it had like an IA at the end, like Clementia. Sounds like the end to chlamydia. Compelling or pressing?
I know this is off topic like a motherfucker, so I ain't gonna expound on it. But
Yeah, that was off topic. So the off topic this week is priorities.
Okay.
Because I've been running into a whole bunch of situations all week, conversations, situations, all types of things to which I have to literally see or talk about or engage in discourse about grown people that's been grown for a long time, not actually prioritizing what they have to do in order to adult correctly.
Where does grown start, and is grown by age or
grown
by
is when you got a
circumstance?
kid and you got priorities at least.
Okay.
So whenever you get a kid,
So
you grown
is a
unless you
priority.
like 14 or something, that's different.
Well, yeah. So grown is priorities.
Grown is priorities. Once
Okay.
you grown, you have to set your priorities to how you spend your money,
Okay.
to what you eating at night. Like,
Okay.
it's like a schedule. Now you on a
That's different.
A regimen.
But that's different. My question is, necessarily, if you have a kid, does that enable your immaturity, or does that, like, you're just supposed to jump into the pot of being grown? Like, for instance, let's say you are 14, 15, and your mom is taking care of your kid.
Okay.
Obviously, you're not grown. Now, let's say 10 years go by, you're 24, your mom's still taking care of your kid, but you're going to school, you have a job, you just literally don't have the means to take care of your kid one-on-one right now. Obviously, the father isn't there or the mother isn't there, because I don't want to just make it seem like the father's just always missing. No.
Yeah.
So
okay. So
so priorities in what way? Because obviously you need to eat, you need to work, you need to have somewhere to live. So those priorities are. So what separates it? Like that's what I mean when I say, what is your definition of
being grown?
Being grown.
So it's almost like the definition of what's a man. Who is a man? What makes you a man?
I don't even know what that is.
So it's more
just
so
like being a real nigga, but yeah.
Yeah, or having your black card.
Having your black card.
That's a prior conversation. Go back to one of the shows if I find it.
One of them.
But priorities. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
If I have a child
Yeah.
Two children.
Mm-hmm. So you have kids.
Yeah, if I have kids, plural.
This nigga.
So if I
you
have
hit
kids,
your Michael Jackson.
Shannon back. Yeah, I really did though. So if I have kids and I'm not with the mom, right?
Yeah.
My priority is my kids.
Right.
Regardless of personal feelings with the mom.
Yeah.
I mean, in my mind. I'm only speaking for me right now because I can't speak for anybody else.
That makes sense though.
So if I have kids and we don't work out,
yeah,
chances are we've already had a conversation about co-parenting or things of that nature. So if in the event that we're not together with our kids,
mm-hmm.
while we have kids together, because I mean, we're tied forever at this point,
right?
Then we can work in unison to make sure our kids have the best life possible. You see what I'm saying?
But that's a hell of a priority, though.
I know, but it's priorities. So it's either you raise your kids in very adverse climates, so like negative climates. So when you go to dad's house, it's always this, that, and the third, and when you go to mom's house, it's how dad don't do nothing for you and da da da. Or you raise your kids in a climate to where it's at least in unison. They're not together.
You're right, but that's all circumstantial.
Oh yeah. No. I'm just saying.
I just want a general assessment of what do you see as being grown.
Being grown is handling your business.
Okay.
Not neglecting your business. When you have kids, you have an obligation. To handle your business.
Take away the kids.
When you have hold on, I'm getting there. When you are caring for yourself,
yes,
you have an obligation to handle your business.
Okay.
So if that means going down to DSS for whatever reason, just to get housing, so then you can go to bridge that gap, because you're not making enough. So go to DSS to get food stamps and get housing and get whatever else that DSS give you. You can do that. Now this is the business part too. If you don't have a car, well, you need to go and find what buses go down there at what times. You need to go and you know what I'm saying? All the little things. Like the kids is the macro, but I'm talking about the micro within the macro.
It's the nuances of it.
Yeah, so it's like
the devil's in the
small
details.
things. So like if you're grown. So you can think for yourself, you can move for yourself, you can make your own decisions, but you still move as if you're a kid. So that means you're calling people to inconvenience them to convenience you.
Okay.
That is not handling your business. You're being neglectful to your business.
So essentially, a grown person does not look for handouts, while a child, obviously, because you can't feed yourself at 3 months old.
So you need that handout. You need that handout. But a grown person, I mean, once you're 18, you're technically grown. Like you don't have to be emancipated. You are technically grown.
So is there like a percentage? Let's say you have your own car, you have a good job, you feed yourself, but you still live with your mom. Is that person technically grown?
Yes, because they're over the age of 18.
Okay. So now let's take away one of those things. Let's say they don't pay for their car insurance. Their mom does. So they still have a job, pay for their phone, feed themselves, but live with their mom, and their mom pays their insurance.
They're still grown.
Still grown. Okay.
So grown is not the absence of paying your bills or handling your business per se. Grown is you're technically caring for yourself in your realm, so you're doing what you have to do. So if your mom it's like DSS. If you're gonna pay for me to live for free, and I can go and do what I gotta do in order to live for myself, then I'm gonna do that.
What?
But this is where this is the thin line though, because it's easy to take what other people's doing for granted and start to fall into I'm gonna be dependent on them and I'm gonna do less for myself.
You see,
that is where you kind of fall into the childish realm as opposed to being grown.
What separates it to me, well, the only thing that separates it to me is, do you have a plan? So, yes, you could be living with your mom. Yes, your mom could be doing this. Vice versa. Yes, your dad, because I don't know why we assume moms all
because
the time.
That's just the norm.
The norm, yeah. But mom, dad, yes, they could be paying this, doing this for you, but do you have a plan? Do you have an actual get out? Because I picture it as yo, that's really my Thriller. Michael Jackson twice, Brad. You gotta.
You almost got it too.
Yeah, I got
You
that.
almost got it.
And bro, my dry ass hand, I need that shit, bro.
What?
That
I got you. Hold on.
Yeah.
Keep on talking though. Keep on talking.
Yo, but God damn, my goddamn mind. God damn, I fucking forgot what I was saying. What was he talking about? Thank you.
The difference and so having a plan. That's the last thing you said was having a plan.
Oh yeah. Okay, bro. By the way, this shit is amazing, bro. Whoever made that
It's shea butter.
Shea butter, goddamn.
Whipped shea butter.
Shit. But no, but yeah, having a plan is what will turn you into the grown up that you need to be. Whether or not that plan takes from 18 to 24, even to 27, 28. Honestly, before 30, if you ask me. Because some people...
I mean, it could take you to 30. As long as you are providing for yourself and you're making ends meet. Because I know people that make ends meet with no income. I don't even know how that's possible.
I don't know.
Like, you have no income, but you are making ends meet. Then there's people that have income that's not making ends meet because they're doing things that are completely childish in the event of, in spite of, their priorities. Okay.
That
Or
really
their
makes
business.
sense. That really because I want to stay on this topic, but I just want to say, did you know that crack isn't as bad as you think? Now, I wanted to have a hot take with that because I wanted people to think, what the fuck is he talking about before I say this? Because this shit was interesting when I heard this shit.
Okay.
Crack is like what they did with alcohol in Prohibition days. So men used to get drunk a lot, come home and literally beat the shit out their wives and kids.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the quote unquote main reason. That was a put out reason. We all know the real reason that they banned alcohol. The government wasn't making enough money on it. Let's be honest. And it wasn't making enough money on it. Mm-hmm. So let's ban this shit, especially we got all these cases. Let's get the shit out of here. But the main case that we're going to put up, bam. Men are coming home beating their wives. Whatever. Crack.
Man coming home
but it's
wife,
the lies. It's
whatever.
the lies. That's what I'm whatevering. It's the lies aspect. Like, you just going to say that. Okay, cool. Crack was the reason why you could have longer sentences for black people. That you could lock up more black people. And that you could actually fuck with more black people. Most crackheads already had fucked up lives. Mm-hmm. Most crackheads already probably smoked weed, drank every fucking day. Or more or less went to that drug because it was the party drug. There's no difference from cocaine to crack other than crack is more affordable. No difference. Literally no difference. So, for instance, $100 worth of cocaine, you could dumb that $100 worth of cocaine that'll last you 2 hours. You could get about $20 worth of crack, and that might last you an hour. But that $20 to $100 ratio for half the time, it's obvious what you want. Mm-hmm. It's obvious what you want. So my overall point is when people try to make things into something, they can make it into something else completely by accident.
Right.
So, with priorities, I see a lot of the times people try to be good, but come to find out be complete assholes. And I could literally try to be the best man I can, then I come off as being selfish. Like, for instance, nah, bitch, I can't take you out today. I need to save. How's she gonna look at that? Then the third, fourth, fifth week, how's she gonna look at that? I'm still saving money, nigga, for what? Because I ain't seeing none of it. She not seeing the 2, 3, 4 year mark of it. Like, she's not seeing the overall goal. So me bettering myself, quote unquote, could be looked at as the detriment of the relationship.
Right.
So the reason why I brought up the crack is I'm just comparing what looks good to you. Obviously, crack looks good to me. Could be looked at as bad for somebody else, and then vice versa. I could look at what make you feel good and see it as bad in my life.
Right.
So, yeah. That was a long tangent. But
That was a long tangent.
yes,
but
but
cool.
I just wanted to compare crack and relationships.
Crack relationships and priorities.
And crack and priorities.
You
You can have both. It's possible.
Yeah,
It's
you
possible.
can prioritize your crack.
and prioritize your money, because if you could be a smart crackhead, you know your limits. Because imagine, crack is a very addictive drug. That's the strains that they have in it. And if you could limit yourself, bro, man, if I had $2,000
If
check,
I could be a crackhead,
yo, nigga,
if
what?
I could be a crackhead,
What? I just know my personality. That's the bad part about it. But if I had $2,000 and I knew that my bills is paid, like this is a good week, not an off week where like you got to pay rent or your car payments due, or if I have no bills. This is just a good week, not an off week. And I literally could pocket that $2,000, bruh. I'm buying a half a pound.
of crack.
No,
Oh.
weed.
I'm about to say.
But that's what I'm addicted to.
So we went from from crack, from priorities to crack.
I'm saying if you could prioritize crack, and I would do that with weed.
Oh, you
Imagine if I
prioritize
was
weed.
a crackhead,
Got you.
I would spend that whole $2,000 on a fucking crack. But
And what-
if you could prioritize that shit, nigga, you ain't a crackhead, nigga. You just an addict. There's
All
a
right,
difference. There is a difference.
Around this time of the day, I walk 10 miles due west. So I can't have it in my system because I approximately pass about 10 police officers in the time. So that means that I would have to take my crack under the bridge
Yep.
at approximately 12 p.m.
Yep.
Because
Leave it there.
Nobody's
for the shift
there, but I have
change.
to leave it there because they might come and search me.
They
Because they
might,
always
'cause
search
they
me
always search
approximately
you.
at 1 o'clock when I'm passing over Goodman and Monroe.
But when that shift change, that's when I go back and get it.
That's prioritized.
That's prioritized.
So,
Nigga.
translation, when you got kids, when you need to care for little lives that you brought into this
Yes.
world, you got to prioritize living arrangements, food,
Yes.
school,
Yes.
regardless of your educational background.
Yes.
You have to be involved. You have to prioritize these things. You have to take away the fun that takes away from your money to prioritize correctly and effectively. That
Or
means
have
stop
a plan
going.
to do it.
Yeah, or have a plan, but most don't have a plan. So let's have a plan.
I
then.
think that's the
So
issue, though.
the practical solution to prioritizing is plan out your life.
Mhm.
Period.
Because, like you were saying with the micro to macro. Well, I said micro to macro. Macro to micro.
It took me
Anyway,
about 10 accounting classes to figure that out, but
it's cool.
I mean economics.
You'll still have to. I was about to say accounting, but anyway.
See,
But
I'm
you'll
still
have
trying
to
to
teach
figure it
me. I'm still trying to figure. Yo, but now people picture the big things that's in their life, but not the little things. For instance, if you don't have a
And
job,
it's those little things that really, create
impact
the most
Exactly.
damage, like produce the
Exactly.
most damage. Macro. Okay,
everybody got macro problems.
everybody got
Everybody
macro problems,
macro
but
problems.
we can't touch the macro problems.
Yeah,
We got to get the
man.
micro.
We gotta
Micro is
touch the
us. Like in us, that's micro.
Mm-hmm. I picture the macro as the oven, because it take longer for the oven
Okay.
to heat up.
I picture the macro like the government.
No, I was saying because microwave, that shit is quick. You gotta focus on that, but that shit can help a lot.
Yeah.
That shit can get you. a
Oh,
meal.
like knowing which one is which.
Mhm.
I got you. Cause Mike, yeah.
shit. But yeah, hell yeah, it's a government. Well, even
But
macros,
macro problems is like the government.
But
Like our macro problems is like nothing compared to what like Cuba macro problems is.
bruh, bruh.
Going back to that. But yeah, prioritize your lives,
I
man.
remember
'Cause
that episode.
yeah.
Mhm.
Prioritize your lives, man, because I'm tired of this. These dudes going around impregnating everybody and not being accountable for their kids. And these
It's amazing.
These parents that already got kids that's on DSS.
Or if you got
or
4
whatever,
kids before 30.
But the priority before 30. 4 kids before 30.
Right.
The pain. The pain. Yeah, but if
The
you,
child
and it's
support.
nothing wrong. It's not the child support. There's nothing wrong being on DSS, but as a people,
But you better have a
speaking
plan
of my
with
people,
it.
we have to have
a
a plan to get
with
off
it.
of DSS.
Yes.
DSS.
That's a good come up story. Just like when a teacher tell you ain't gonna be shit in life.
like big. He said it in
Come
juicy.
on, no, yeah, nigga, you get the bad shit out the way just so you can have come up points. Like, yes, I was on DSS. Yes, my kid was quote unquote a crack baby, which they said isn't a thing. They said all those babies was alcoholism babies that they were showing for the crack epidemic and whatnot. But anyway, that's a good come up story. All right, it's good to say that I was in a fucked up situation. Now look at me. And honestly, I would want to listen to you more than the person that just said, "Yeah, I had a silver spoon, what, a gold spoon or some shit like."
Silver spoon.
Yeah, I had
silver,
a
gold, platinum, indigo.
What? Yeah, all that shit. I would respect a person that been through the struggle more because why? You don't want to lose your position.
Sorry. I'm trying to catch this fruit fly because this fruit fly running around here. It's all in my on my face and stuff. Like
That
Yeah.
must be the same fly that was with Juicy Smollett.
So, we the Revolt Summit. It just happened not too long ago, and what you thought about it? What you thought about the Revolt?
Candace Owens is an interesting woman. I like the way she thinks. She's very, very smart.
Super smart.
One thing I can
Let me
say
see what-
is I wish she would come across. Well, I wish she would make her points a little, cause she gets them shits out snappy. Like it sounds like she got an attitude when she gets them shits out.
Be careful.
I like it,
Be
but
careful. You calling her an angry black woman.
I don't want to say that though. That's why I was very careful. She was just very snappy, getting them words out. Which I know you're in an audience that obviously 80% of them do not like you because if you know anything about Candace Owens, you would question why the fuck she was in front of T.I. and Killer Mike in the first place. But I can say her I could see if I was on that side where she was coming from, I would actually agree with pretty much everything she was fucking saying. But I agree with about 35, maybe 40% of the shit that she was saying. Now, mind you, I didn't watch everything, but the point she was making, I could see why she was making them. She sounded educated while making them, and she damn sure stood behind her comments. Now, obviously, T.I. and Killer Mike, they checked her. They made sure that the other side of the argument was viewed.
Yeah.
And I feel like the best part about it is they didn't let their beliefs distract from the actual point of the discussion. Like they made their points. They said that you were wrong, and they said those things, but it wasn't like angry black people, not black women. Angry black people were on stage.
Yeah.
It was a great conversation. Great conversation.
So, first of all, I want to play something for everybody here because at the conclusion, I watched the whole hour.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to watch. Okay. I'm gonna play this first, and then I'm gonna play the clip from Malcolm X. But I can after watching the whole thing and then seeing how it ended, or one of the last questions that was asked, it kind of took me back to that Malcolm X comment about celebrities being activists.
Oh.
But I want to play when it goes up. Oh. I want to come up with a play because this is this guy. So he got to the mic and he asked T.I. a question, and it was like when he asked the question, literally like my jaw dropped because it was horrible. It was bad.
Hey, what going on? How y'all doing, man? P. Diddy, appreciate you for this event, man. This shit is lit. I love all this culture talk. But Tip, my question for you, OG, you know, all I do is it cool. You know what I'm saying? I just got a question. I was talking to Malik in the studio, and I was asking her, like, man, if I was asking, like, how should I come and talk to Tip, you know, knowing that he's my idol, you know what I'm saying, to ask a question? Because I know you got all artists coming at you. My question would be, what would you say to an artist that's trying to approach you, that look up to you, what to say to you? You dig what I'm saying?
So after this great conversation that you just said everybody had, he got up to the mic. Now, mind you, he's went after like Jay Morrison that asked a legitimate question about how do we create like a collective Black Vote Day to collectively identify ourselves under one umbrella as opposed to all these different, you know,
Factions,
branches and factions and stuff, because that is kind of the start of pushing us forward. If we can identify as one race per se, as opposed to a multi-faction facets and stuff like that. And then it was like this other person that said something that was kind of profound that went along with the conversation. And then there was a lady that made her comment like how, you know, we need more conversations like this to push us forward. And then he got on there and he was just like, yo, how are artists supposed to like approach you as a, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of goes into this right here.
I just told you a little while ago, these leaders that they call leaders, this included Lena Horne, this included Dick Gregory, and this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and over the black community by the white community and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear. And it is an honor, actually.
So now when I first listened to the Malcolm X, that commentary about celebrities being activists and how it was a hoax and they were puppets and stuff, I was like, I don't really believe that per se, like in its totality, which I still don't believe in its totality, but I believe it's truth in what he was trying to say, in the sense of it kind of came full circle, and I had the aha moment when I was watching the Revolt Summit, because after having that discourse, like it was great creative tension to where each person brought something different to the conversation. Some people in that building showed up because T.I. was there.
Yeah.
Some people showed up because Killer Mike was there. Yeah. Some people showed up because Diddy was sitting in the front row.
For some reason.
So it wasn't, it's his Revolt, it's his company.
Why the fuck is Diddy there?
Because that's his company.
I get it.
He is the boss. He put it together.
Diddy got a yacht to be on.
Don't matter, but he put this together. But the point is, so it was a few things. So obviously some people showed up just to be in the presence of these celebrities that they idolize.
Yeah.
Other people showed up for the actual conversation. And then you have the ones in between that's like, I'm kind of here to see T.I. or Killer Mike or Diddy or whoever else is in the audience, but then I'm also kind of here to see what they talking about. Then you have that few that's like real serious. So like Jay Morrison, he came with the intention of asking that question. All right, so we having this conversation here, but how do we move forward next? What is a practical solution to our problem? And obviously, like Killer Mike, I feel like he brought the conversation full circle to where he tied in a lot of loose ends to where like the argument started like between Candace Owens and like T.I. or, you know, all those little like micro aggressions to one another. And I feel like Killer Mike is educated enough and knowledgeable enough to connect those dots that the average person like T.I., who's informed, but he's not informed to the depth that he needs to be.
T.I. still seemed like he just wanted to be right.
So and then it goes into that. So then even with Killer Mike, there was I'm still on the fence with him. Not necessarily for his, not because he's a rapper or anything like that, but because a lot of the things that he's saying contradicts who he supports. So his main thing for at the Revolt Summit, he was saying like the black agenda is like that was a question, like what is like a number one issue or something that needs to be addressed or something like that. He was like, we need a black agenda, like whoever, no matter who the master is. Like he went on that whole. Did you see that up
Kill
to that
your
far?
master.
Yeah, the kill your master part. He was saying like we need a black agenda, but the candidate that he endorses does not have a black agenda, and he said it. Bernie Sanders. He doesn't have a black agenda. He said he doesn't have a black agenda.
Well, I got to see what other policies he could be doing, because you know
a black agenda and policies is two different things.
Well, no, I'm saying because Killer Mike is a very pro-black person.
Absolutely.
So it must be a specific policy that he likes about Bernie that is different from other candidates.
Well, I feel like Bernie is the one that will work with him the most as it pertains to
Bernie's the thirstiest.
influence, as it pertains to influence and connectedness, openness, the willing to collaborate with all of the other candidates.
Bernie's gonna die if he can't survive another 8-year term. Come on, now, Bernie. Four, 8. They all plan for the long term when they become president.
Yeah, right.
But all I'm saying is, Bernie is at a point where if this shit don't happen, he's Tom Brady, nigga. We gonna take up Antonio Brown till that rape shit happen. But like, nigga, we gonna take you up. We gonna take up any and every fucking body. Gronk left too. Like, I mean, Biden is on some shit where I don't care how it happens. I'm about to be out this whole game, the game of life, nigga. Like, I need this shit to happen now. So obviously he's gonna listen and take in more to secure more votes. I like Killer Mike.
I do too.
I actually think that Bun B needs to be Trey the Truth needs to be mayor of Houston. T.I. needs to be mayor of Atlanta alongside with Killer Mike. I don't know how they're gonna work that together, but T.I. has a stronger follow. What do you look? Because Killer Mike is this great ass advisor, but the way T.I. uses words expeditiously, I think people will follow T.I. more than they'll follow Killer Mike, because again, how many people really know Killer Mike? Name 2 Killer Mike songs right now. All right, then. So you only
what that
know,
got to do with?
I'm saying the popularity of it. Okay, why do you think Arnold Schwarzenegger became?
Because he was a Terminator.
Right, popularity. How do you think Donald Trump became president?
But he that
popularity.
That was different. Well, no, because he lost the popular vote.
No.
He lost the popular vote.
What I'm saying is
he lost the popular vote.
He was popular to the Russians.
Right? Good save.
That wasn't true. It's not true.
That was a good save.
That nigga's popular. All right. All I've
to
said,
the right people.
To the right people. And so I'm saying, even in New York, I really think Cameron and the whole Dipset clan, they need to be the actual diplomats, because you know who the actual diplomats is. They go out and they figure shit out in the rest of the world.
In the rest of the world. They got diplomatic community. You see what I'm saying?
I really believe they should be the caucus of New York. And then, like, I think shit like that. So whoever we endorse needs to actually have policies that actually could get us somewhere, because big, micro, macro, we need to focus on what's happening in our inner community first. Then we focus on who the fuck will serve us best in the government.
Yeah, so Killer Mike actually kind of touched on that. In the sense of right now, everybody was arguing about who has the better master. I don't care about none of that, because since Donald Trump been in office, my finance has been the same. My taxes is still the same. My everything is still the same. So when Obama was in office, everything was the same. I mean, the only thing that would change is if I got like arrested or something. and I got to go through the legal system, then
But that's
federal
different.
law. That's like, you know what I'm saying? But that's
you give up your. That's the 13th amendment.
well, 13.
You give up your right. You give up your right as a human. I mean, you pretty much concede to being a slave once you commit a crime.
Once you commit a crime, right? You are a slave once you get in prison.
Once you get in prison.
But even with all that, just the effectiveness. I feel like the effectiveness of the panel and the information that could have been delivered was lost because of the level of celebrity that was on the panel. So you've seen obviously how dominated the panel was as it pertains to Killer Mike and T.I. And then Candace Owens. So those are the three most dominant people or known people
As
on
it
the
should
panel.
be, though.
And then you have the two ladies on the left.
I don't remember.
And then you had the one guy that was literally irrelevant to the whole conversation. And when he did
just
talk,
sitting there.
when he did talk, he was like, "Oh yeah, I agree with everybody. Like we need to create this da da da." Like, nah, we not here for that.
He's the Molly of the show.
The Molly of the show. That's the Molly he was talking to. The guy was talking to Molly. Like I was trying to figure out who was Molly. So, but I feel like it was lost. So the overall holistic message of the summit was lost because of the stardom that was sitting on stage. And I feel like the stardom should attract the bodies, but the actual panelists. So like it would have been dope if Killer Mike was the moderator.
Yeah.
Because you don't know who the moderator was. He was just some guy. So it would have been dope if Killer Mike or Candace Owens or T.I. was the moderator. Well, Candace Owens actually does this. Like she's a activist.
I know,
but
I'm
activist.
saying.
So no, she can be on the panel. But
yeah,
T.I. or Killer Mike moderated a conversation with politicians and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like actual politicians. So politicians that's in the Atlanta area.
Yes.
Since they was in Atlanta, so you bring black politicians. Atlanta is Wakanda, so you bring the black politicians that made Atlanta Wakanda, and then you have that type of conversation. I feel like that would have literally kind of cultivated and transformed that conversation, as opposed to Killer Mike, T.I., Candace Owens, and all them other ones being in there talking about how they would do something when they're not in a position of power to do something. Yes, they commingle and cohabitate in certain spaces with the people that have the power, but they are not the people that have the power. So then now we're just talking amongst each other about problems that we don't have any power to fix, besides the knowledge piece that that Killer Mike talked about as it pertains to like going and reading on like Stokely Carmichael and all them. That's different because that's practical solutions to get you the knowledge to get to this level, but then we still have to practice a lot of things in order to advance our people.
I'm gonna let you know right now. I'm gonna need a halftime show for this shit, and then Beyonce better be performing. All right, I need a nice little break where somebody come out. Kevin Hart
can't come out right
somebody. Now. Well, he'll be all right. He'll be all right.
No, he'll be good. He'll be good.
All that discussion and all that shit. I'm gonna need a nice entertainment break for all that. That's all I'm saying. That's the only thing that's gonna keep me engaged. Because trust and believe you me, I got Hulu to be watching. I got HBO Go to be watching. I got Netflix to be watching.
And that's the problem right now.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
but
the
even
problem.
YouTube, like, bruh, all that education and all that other shit, like, it sound good, but I am a believer that we need to mix entertainment and politics. All right? Just like when Killer Mike put porn into business, put business into porn.
I mean, it's all business.
It's all business at the end of the day. But
trigger warning.
Trigger warning, yes. But it's the same shit.
To enhance, entice people to actually watch and learn something.
Now, obviously, it's an ignorant statement because I'm supposed to literally have a still enough mind to watch something without needing to laugh or be entertained.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I still have the urge to want to laugh and be entertained. So now, am I wrong for wanting to fight that urge, or are you wrong for not adapting to the new times? Because obviously,
I think it's a little of both.
Bruh, I'm not about to sit there and watch no presidential debate.
I did.
I'm not about to watch that
I think
shit.
it's super interesting. I think it's super interesting.
For one, I don't know. Okay, no. For one big one, I don't even know 80% of the shit that they're talking about.
That's why you do your
A lot
research
of the-
after.
Who about to do that?
That's the problem. So as listen to this conversation,
that?
people. Listen to this conversation, people, because this is literally a conversation that will be had. Candace Owens is 30 years old. That's cool.
She young. Look good too.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Damn.
these
I
are the
gotta stop
conversations.
objectifying women.
You can't say she's beautiful.
She has a nice mind.
You can say she's beautiful.
But the way I said it,
You said she looked good too. Okay, what that mean?
I sexualized her in my mind.
Oh, in your mind you did. So stop.
I bent her over.
Overtly. Stop. Okay, you don't gotta explain it. You don't gotta
I
explain
ate
it.
it.
You good? Oh,
And
my
I'm talking
goodness.
about all three. You know what I'm saying?
She gonna mess up your mind, bro.
Nah, she might stop me from drinking.
She might. But yo, y'all gotta do the research.
That's too much work.
Ain't too much work because it
Why
affects you.
can't the research? I get it, but why can't the research be there with like a stripper dancing next to it or some shit? You know,
You can take your phone or your laptop or
I ain't
something
got split screen.
to the strip club, and you can sit at the table.
That is smart.
You
Have
can
a
sit at the
library at the strip club, bruh. So many books will get read.
No, they won't.
Yeah, yes, they will. Cause okay, this is interesting. Cause Askin's gonna get played out. What you're gonna do is pick up that fucking book in your goddamn hand, cause you gotta read a book in order to get a lap dance, and you get a test on that book too. Come on now, if really
So now
think
it's
about
stripper
it,
school.
they doing it regardless.
Striplastic.
Ooh,
No, scholastic.
Stripology.
Nah, that's the study of stripping. That's not right. Ology is the study of.
Yeah, so yeah.
No, you're
these
not studying
strippers is
stripping.
studying- How are they not?
You not studying stripping. If you go to strip
Oh, okay. But I'm
That's
saying
like
these
a
strippers
class.
here, they learning how to dance. We only take non-professional strippers. They learning.
Oh my goodness.
They learn it.
Yeah, so just to wrap up on the Revolt Summit, man, it was dope. I feel like I liked the conversation. For me personally, I'm at a level to where I can digest the information on a deeper, higher frequency level, to the average person. And I'm basically I'm buffering out what he was saying, like, oh, I like all this culture, like this is dope. I'm buffering all that out. Like, I think it was dope how I think one of the things that I thought was dope was the black energy to the delivery of the conversation, because it made it more it made it easier to sit through it, because it was entertaining as well as educating. Edutainment. It was that because of how Killer Mike addressed or approached the conversations, and how T.I. approached the conversations. It kind of but it also watered down a lot of what, like, Candace Owens said, because you have those very black responses from a very black crowd to what she was saying that might have challenged that general idea of our interpretations or our view on the world as it pertains to politics and Republican versus Democrats and where black people fall and all that stuff, and how she's a very conservative thinker, and how blacks are generally more liberal thinkers and things of that nature. But when it came down to it, I felt like it was effective until the dude got on the stage or got up to the mic and asked, how does a rapper approach T.I. as an idol? Because to him, so it's like, okay, so I know that this one person was lost in the idolization of T.I., so he was probably mesmerized and staring at T.I., and he was thinking about how he was shooting a shot. So if it was just that one person there, because I seen the crowd as they like kind of panned through the crowd as it ended.
He wasn't the only one thinking it.
Exactly. So now it's like, okay, so out of everybody in that room, however many people was it, how many people actually lost the message because they wanted to see T.I. or they wanted to see Diddy or they wanted to see Killer Mike or Candace Owens or things of that nature? Because now that goes into deeper thought of, okay, well, how do we still continue to create this creative tension amongst our people, but eliminate the ignorance of celebrities being there, so I'm only going to see them as opposed to actually
Well,
getting this
you
conversation.
better get rid of poor folks. You better get rid of the what do they call them? What do they call them? The niggas in the city. The
Disenfranchised.
Disenfranchised. You got to get rid of the people because they see a hope. They see a dream right there. Even how minuscule it is, they will still see that hope and dream. You're in a position I'm not. And I could see that if I just take a shot, if I say anything, if I just make myself noticeable, if I even ask or shit like that, you can take me out the bad position I'm in. Because obviously if I'm here listening to you preach, I want to get into a better position. And if you're preaching to me, then obviously I want that position that you got.
Right.
So I mean, you gotta have, everybody has to have a financial basis before they actually go to these events. Because if you're broke and going there with $1 and a dream, you're not paying attention to the actual dream. When you see, I can actually have opportunity for $1 here. So they're looking at them with the dollar eyes. You know how these prostitutes and strippers be looking at you with the dollar eyes. Like they don't see that I can actually marry you. Shit. So yeah, if you could get rid of the disenfranchised and have people actually want to learn to better themselves and other people's situations purely, then you're gonna have people just want to come up.
Interesting.
Any and everywhere you go.
Interesting.
Bitches.
Yeah, so that's how I felt about Malcolm X's comments on activism and the Revolt Summit. So let's switch gears.
Mm-hmm.
Answer me this. I posed a question today on Facebook. What is your
when don't you
favorite? That's a fact. What is your favorite hip hop album of all time? So this is like your go-to album, regardless of the time of the day, regardless of the era that you in. Even though, so we've lived in 3 eras. So regardless of all that, what is your go-to hip hop album?
You see, people that answer these type of questions, I don't believe that they're being honest. Why? Because your mood changes so much. You grow with so much. So I could have loved the album in 2006 that me listening to in 2016 has nothing to do with what's going on in my life. Because for instance, loved Wayne. Wayne is my favorite rapper. Loved his projects in the 2010. After 2009 is when Drake hit, because that's when So Far Gone came out. Then I love some of his projects. But before that, I would go back to like the Tupacs, the Biggies, the typicals. The West Coast, like I loved a lot of the Snoop Dogg's, Pacs. So for me to say I have a favorite is me ignoring the past, that like the euthanasia, not euthanasia.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I
don't think so.
How.
You don't got a go-to album that you just listen to regardless.
I do,
like
and that's my
anytime.
point. That's my point. I have so many that bring me back to different times that make me happy. So I could tell you, when I was growing up, I could tell you my favorite album. When I was going to high school,
one though. That one.
There isn't though.
Front to back, you don't skip no songs.
I got a few of those.
You know but what's that one?
I don't know. I really don't know. I really have a few.
What's that first one that came to your mind?
Something with Wayne, but Wayne, just Wayne. Like
yeah, but what's that album though that you?
Wayne.
What's that album? I know it's that project that you like. You know how in Lion King where it was like Mufasa. Ooh, his name. Say it again. Mufasa. Ooh. It's like that album is like that give you like chills. Like, oh my goodness, this piece of work was crazy. Like crazy.
I'm gonna be
take out the favorite part.
I can't. Okay.
Take out the favorite part.
Who's yours?
Reasonable Doubt. Jay-Z.
Oh, that's standard.
No, it's not.
That's standard.
No, it's not.
That's
Reasonable Doubt, Jay-Z. I feel like that right there. That was the first one that come. And every time I listen to Reasonable Doubt from start to finish, like I'm like, yo, this is great. I have more. I definitely have more. But Reasonable Doubt was like that one album like that I listened to where I was like, yo, this right here is classic. Like, this is timeless from start to finish.
So what I'm getting is something that you can listen to 60% of the time. What I mean by that is you can listen to it in a car, in the club, when you drunk, when you high, when you...
Don't matter. You can just turn it on and you get that same feeling regardless of your... Because I mean, I'm building performing arts programming right now.
Yeah.
I got to talk to you. I'm building performing arts programming right now that's intertwined with hip hop culture and all that stuff. So I understand, like, a part of my programming, I'm implementing how our music and the shows that we watch and things of that nature is influenced by how we feel in that given time. I get that part.
Mm-hmm.
But I know we all have that one album in each genre across different genres that's be like, yo, that album is fire. So like R&B. R&B.
There's so much.
I know it's a lot, but R&B, that one album that I can listen to all the time from start to finish is The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. I can listen to that from start to finish.
You trying to get you a black queen on this show?
I'm just saying. Neo Soul, I would probably go with Baduism. Country, I'm going with Seven.
Old Time World. Yeah, I'm about to say, nigga. Old Town World, nigga. That's my joint, nigga.
Nah, but like I just feel like it's those albums that it's like it might not be the greatest of all time, but it's those albums that's like, yo, that right there hit every time I listen to it. Every time.
There's a few albums like that.
I know it's a few because every time I listen to Naughty by Nature, like the self-named album Naughty by Nature, that album is fire. I listen to it from start to finish. Fire, bro.
Okay. Right.
Strike a Nerve is my favorite track on there. Because I like the dynamic of them being in a group, but they all try to best each other per like verse. So like the first verse came hard, then the second verse came harder, then the third verse came harder, and then I swear I'm trying to tell you,
you're not gonna catch it.
I know I'm not gonna catch it, but
I could say one of my favorite albums growing up, I would have to say is The Recession, Jeezy.
I was just listening to Jeezy yesterday, actually.
But was you listening to The Recession?
No, I was listening to Church in the Streets in these Chiefs.
Still, Jeezy back in the day, for me, I didn't know shit about trap. I sold weed for about a week.
And
crack.
Now I'm listening to all the trap music.
Nigga.
I'm a trap star.
Nigga. Because, okay, I don't know if you noticed, but this is a fact, a soda history. I don't know anybody else that was smoking weed straight out of elementary. I taught a few niggas how to roll, where to get weed. A few niggas. I was the one that put that pendulum on their back so they could succeed.
So they can succeed in this weed.
Hey, priorities. So yeah, and then I sold crack once in my life. One transaction, which was real easy. Just go to the back, get it to her, take the money. Okay. Cool. So at that time in my life, I thought that I could actually do this drug thing. So Jeezy, when the Recession came out, because obviously you were bumping before, but he was talking about like not necessarily political issues, but that album just hit me in a different way. So if I could say that's one of the albums that made the biggest impact on my life, one of them. So I'll give it to Jeezy on that.
Yeah, that's a different question. I might pose that question too. What album had the biggest impact on your life?
Yeah, because I can't do favorite, but I damn sure.
I ain't say favorite. Okay, I said favorite, but I said all right.
Nigga, I'll beat you. Wait, hold on. You right?
I didn't say favorite. I said forget about the favorite. Okay.
G shit. Right. That album, and then after that, it's probably been some Drake shit. Cause even though that care package that nigga put out, that put me back in my feelings from 2011, nigga. 2011, nigga. I started remembering dates I had, proms, motherfucker going to Wendy's.
Because you used to OD with them songs when you was younger. used to really connect them to all types of feelings. Like,
Cause you ain't had too much.
I got broken up with, or I just
Nigga.
broke up.
Or if you, or don't let you get cheated on. You'll feel the suicidal shit that you pose. Why do kids say they want to kill themselves? You remember that shit that you asked at?
Yeah.
Bro, that's what you really.
I thought I heard something.
Oh. Drake coming.
Hey, what up, man?
Nah, you's a liar. Yo,
I was just talking about how you got use my favorite artist all the time.
Oh, you's a dick riding ass nigga. You's a dick riding ass nigga. Not in Rochester, Dev. Not in Rochester, Dev. We do our own thing around this
our own thing. I was just playing.
Yeah, motherfucker.
I was
you
just
cool,
playing.
though.
I said reasonable doubt.
Reasonable mother. And honestly, Reasonable Doubt is a classic album only because, not only, there's a few reasons, but to see where this nigga ended up, like, he was talking about this big money shit from the beginning,
Yeah,
and now
black businesses, all that.
Now you actually are at the pinnacle of this shit. Like, it's a thing to be a black billionaire, bro. It's an actual motherfucking. It's an asterisk on your name. You're not no regular just nigga no more.
Yeah, you up there with
you
the
up
upper
there,
echelon.
nigga. You
with the 0.1%.
Yeah, nah. 0.1% is.
I mean,
8 figures. They got tens of billions. That
man, he and my 0.1%.
Oh yeah. Oh, you talking about black billionaires? Oh yeah.
I ain't talking about the white people.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say nah. The point the
point
point two? The real point two?
The 0.0% is us though.
Oh yeah.
Mansa Musa. Yeah, richest man to ever walk the face of the earth.
I mean, come on now. That's Matufa Shakur elder. That's his elder. You better watch your mouth.
All right, well, y'all already know. Bring those ideas for next week's show.
Yeah, you like how I switched my shit.
Right. Speaking of, right, I be trying to find you. I don't be knowing where you at.
Matufa.
I be looking. Saint. Where's Saint at? Hey, where's Saint at? Speaking of Jay-Z, what you think about his deal with the NFL?
I loved it. Why? Cause
I ain't asked you why. I said what you think about
I said why. I'm giving you my why. You ready? You ready? Sit there. Just be patient.
All right.
Why did you ask?
Because you said why as if I asked you why. I asked you why.
Thought
what you mean?
thought why?
All right, go ahead.
But for one, the NFL, how many owners do you actually know?
Roger Goodell. I mean,
That's not. See what I'm saying?
Robert Kraft. Sorry.
And why do you know Robert Kraft?
Because the Patriots is my favorite team.
Okay. So how many niggas got favorite teams that they don't even know?
I don't know the name, but I know the owner for the Atlanta Falcons.
Then you don't know that nigga.
He owns the soccer.
You don't know that nigga.
The soccer
What's his
stadium.
name? You don't know that nigga.
All right.
You don't know that nigga.
You right.
So that being said,
Just
how many general managers do you know?
And that don't matter in football.
I'm saying. So if you don't even know the people on the actual teams, I know for a fact you don't know the people in the back office.
Right.
Now we know somebody. We got Hove in the back office making decisions. Yeah. At least choices. He can at least raise his hand. Come on now, like at least we know somebody that can actually has our best interests, not make decisions for us,
but has our best interests
exactly,
in mind.
Because not one black man could be our decision maker.
Right.
Fucking Black Caucus.
Right. So I've been want to talk about this for like a few weeks now, and this is a tidbit, so we might revisit this next week, since we kind of wrapping up the show. But so I feel like it was a few things. I felt like it. I mean, first of all, nobody ever in this world can ever knock Hove for his commitment to the black community, to black emancipation, true emancipation, freedom, and things of that nature because of the things that he's done thus far. So let me just throw that out there, just so that disclaimer is very cut and dry. But in the same sense, there's a thin line in what we perceive or define as actionable items, which is something that he's used. Actionable items and practical solutions to combat existing problems. So, for example, going back to the Revolt Summit, Killer Mike posed an actionable item that we can do, a practical solution, something that we can do to literally start to progress forward, meaning abolish the 13th Amendment.
Yeah.
That makes us still slaves.
Yeah.
And how Candace Owens, I think she said that, said it is still, no, maybe Killer Mike said this too, said it is still in the Constitution. If you read it, Killer Mike said this definitely. They still consider, no, the other lady said it. They still consider us technically 3/5 of a man.
Yeah.
None of that changed, right? So when we're talking about, when I watched the meeting, Jay-Z in the NFL joint meeting with all the people around the table and stuff, I was looking for specifics. I wasn't looking for answers from Jay-Z because I already know. I don't know what he was going to say, but I already know his mindset because I've been following Jay-Z for years. I know how he moves. I understand his commitment to the black community, to disenfranchised people, to the fight of mass incarceration. I already know his position on that. So for people to get around this table, and that's like people getting around this table and asking me why I don't curse, why I choose not to curse. People already know that. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't been listening?
Right, so it's the same sense. So when people get around the table and ask these questions, that's kind of should be posed to Roger Goodell to solidify his stance in this partnership. And T.I. And Jay-Z is answering these questions in a very Jay-Z way, to where it's it's the idea he's expressing the ideations of Jay-Z. Then that takes away, and Roger Goodell's only seconding him. Now that's taken away from the authenticity of this partnership. So now this partnership is something to kind of de-escalate this situation that's been happening, that's been plaguing the NFL for these years, because now I have this super powerful black man that can talk to the black people, and I sit back with my arms folded and I kind of second him, which goes back to the whole
he's right.
Yeah, right. And that's what it is. So it was one part in the meeting where this guy, so if you're Roger and I'm why are you calling this man T.I. and I'm Jay-Z?
Same reason you don't curse, you're illiterate.
Okay, cool.
I don't know any curse words.
All right, cool. So I'm Jay-Z and you Roger Goodell, and it's a guy over there somewhere. He literally said, "Commissioner, I want to ask you this question." And he asked the question, whatever the question was. You good? You all right? Okay.
I just like this stuff.
Oh, yeah. I just like this stuff. I'm not going to let him finish. I like this stuff. Yeah, so he asked Roger Goodell a question, and he literally addressed him like, "Commissioner, this question is for you."
Yeah.
And when the after he finished the question and the camera panned, Jay-Z is answering the question. So I was thinking, like, dang, is Jay-Z the commissioner of football right now? Because the commissioner is allowing him to answer the question that was posed to the commissioner. So my struggle with the partnership is that it didn't come from an authentic place. It came from a place to kind of lessen the fire, lessen the flames up under the NFL to give give Colin Kaepernick another job, or address that issue, or actually address the issue of police brutality in in the U.S. with the influence of the NFL, because social responsibility is always happening in the NFL. You always see campaigns by the players going into their communities of the teams in which they play for and giving back to them, doing book bag drives or hurricane relief or all these different things, building a house. You see it out all the time without Jay-Z.
Which is stupid to me.
So, in turn, it's like, okay, well, Cap was fighting for one thing, right? Was raising awareness for one thing. He was outed because he took a knee. It wasn't for his stats, because he have better stats than some of the quarterbacks that's playing right now in the league. That have starting positions. So my problem with the partnership didn't come from the authenticity of Jay-Z, because I know he's attacking it from, this is an actionable item that I believe will commit change. But he shouldn't have been. Cap should have been. I hit it again. Cap should have been at that table with him. Like it's whoop-de-doo. Cap. I feel like the best, most powerful way should have been one of two ways, two options. Cap and Jay-Z partner. So Cap's Know My Rights campaign and Jay-Z with Rock Nation come together to literally partner with the NFL, because that would have been the ultimate slap in the face of the white man.
Okay.
Or go and create your own league. Go and create your own league.
Nobody's doing it.
But that's the thing, though. People don't see it as an option. But that is literally a practical solution, regardless of all the logistics. If you put the right people in place, that can actually happen. And all you do is you don't have to use the NFL stadiums. You can use the college stadiums. Can you imagine? Because the college stadium is the same.
Actually, I can, because the big three
is the same. Yes. So
that shit is prospering. Fuck that. Fuck what you heard.
Exactly.
That shit is prospering.
So you take that, or you can go to something like the XFL, to where you're going into another league that's, you know what I'm saying? Like you're going to other options. Me personally, we should already have a black-owned professional sports
I agree.
business, period.
And it needs to be the Black Panthers.
What?
The Atlanta Black Panthers.
No. Not a team, a whole association.
Oh, okay.
So whether a black basketball association,
but every team has to be
in a black football.
The black. So we can have like a checkered team called the Black Whites.
The Black Whites. Yo, that's funny. That's funny. The Black Whites. The Philadelphia Black Whites. Yo.
Nigga, come on, dog. Everything
crazy.
gotta have the black circles,
crazy.
Black lotions.
The Black Caucuses.
The Black Caucuses. Black Shea Butter.
The Black Shea Butters. But you see like the direction I'm going with just digesting that conversation, because it was, I seen the authenticity in Jay-Z and him saying like, I can't speak for Cap. We talked before, like protecting his stance with Rock Nation, and I trust that Jay-Z will do to the best of his abilities. He will implement change to the best of his abilities within this partnership with the NFL. On the flip side, I don't think that the NFL would do their due diligence to combat the structural racism that's within their organization. I feel like they're going to stand behind Jay-Z while Jay-Z leads the charge for social responsibility in terms of social responsibility and bringing in revenue for the Super Bowl. But these key areas and situations that Cap lost his job for will still not be addressed. Because that's something that if all the NFL owners got together, they can actually start to influence some type of change, because they are the elitist of American society right now. Because they have money. They got mad money. Robert Kraft, I think he's the owner of Kraft, like condiments and stuff. Like,
yeah, he is.
Like these are people with the money.
Okay, you're lost on an island. No, you're lost in Africa. Okay?
That's a fact.
You got the ocean to your left. You got one camel. Then you got the desert to your right.
I'm turning to Mansa Musa. I'm about to wrap myself.
No, I'm about to say like there's a fucking phone booth. You could just go and change real quick. Devin today, Mansa Musa tomorrow. Motherfucker.
Bring me my camel.
Yo, nah. But I'm saying, you got the ocean to your left, one camel, and the desert to your right. You gonna stay there with just this ocean that you can't drink and hope for somebody to come save you, or are you gonna see what's to your right? Cop up on that camel that you know that can last forever. That's the NFL in this situation. It's gonna last forever. And take that first step into the sand. Because even if it's just one step, it's one step closer to something that we don't know existed. So my overall analogy is, we see the water. We know what that water is. We see the racists. We see all the shit. The camel's not going nowhere. NFL's not going nowhere.
Yep.
What we need to do is guide that camel to go somewhere. We don't know where this desert's gonna take us, but we need to go somewhere. So as long as we can get that first step into the sand, which is Jay-Z actually being there, that is the first step to going somewhere.
Okay, so you know how that analogy would have been more powerful?
I don't give a fuck how you make it more powerful. Make it more powerful.
You know how that would be more powerful?
How?
I'm adding on to it. To actually, because that one step is like the camel's hoof. They got hooves, right?
I don't fucking know. Feet, hooves.
Whatever.
They can have dicks on the bottom of them shits. Fuck them. I don't give a fuck about no goddamn camel.
They toe is just touching the sand. That's Jay-Z. You know how they can actually start walking on the sand and creating change?
What?
And finding that new promised land?
What?
As if the owners were at that round table talk. Because the owners have the control.
Nah.
The owners control and pay the commissioner.
I get what you're saying, but I don't want to see all those old white men.
Don't matter. They need to be in that conversation.
Bro, you know how many scoffs?
That's like saying I'm about to go to Congress and pass this bill, but I don't want to see all these old.
I agree with you, but it's just, bro, I don't want to hear all those 20-year-old cigar-filled throats go, every time we got a black issue getting brought up. All that dumb shit.
But they need to hear it.
Bruh. I think
how many of them
I don't want to see the fucking owners.
How many of them
I want to see the representatives.
I don't want to see the representatives. I want to see the man that makes the decisions.
You talking
why am I talking to the decisions? Then I'm playing telephone.
Wait. No.
Wait.
You talking about what Jay-Z and Roger Goodell did? Or are you talking about like personally if I could talk to somebody?
No, I'm talking about
what Jay-Z and
at
Roger
that
Goodell.
meeting.
Oh no! I don't want to see that because there's a bunch of questions that that other people gonna ask that I probably won't even get a chance to answer, and then I'm just gonna see they scoffs. All I want, if I had the opportunity to meet all 32 NFL owners, I want to sit down with a table, and I want to be in the middle of that motherfucker. And I want to look at each and every last one of these bastards in the eyes. All right. And I want to actually tell each and every last one of them my discrepancy. That shit with Jay-Z and Roger Goodell, that shit was a circus. That shit was just for people to ask Jay-Z questions and for Roger Goodell to smile and be proud to be next to a profitable black man. That shit was a circus. And what you think of any other old white man gonna do? Leave it up to Jay-Z to speak while they with their 20-year-old cigar-filled throats.
20-year-old cigar-filled throats. How is that even possible?
By smoking cigars for 20 years.
Oh, okay. Yes. I thought you meant like 20-year-olds and youthful throat.
No, nigga. No.
Cigar filled.
Because that's why they every time a black issue get brought up.
So the police kill black people.
Where? Niggers. Excuse me. Continue. Like I really see that because they got so much money. You think what's the owner that got outed of the Los Angeles Clippers?
I know what you're talking
about. Donald Sterling.
Sterling. Yeah.
You think he really give a fuck?
But that's the new one. That's the new one.
Racism is a good one, okay? Don't be putting niggas' names in there that ain't.
That's what I'm saying. Because the one I was gonna say is the current one.
Oh, nope. He a good
Donald
man.
Sterling.
He a good man. Whoever that new nigga is, he a good man. Kawhi, even though I don't believe in sports, but anyway.
No, here you go.
Donald, you think he really give a fuck that he got outed? This man's a billionaire.
He cashed out. I think he sold the team for like.
He's a billionaire.
Something $1 billion or something like that. $1.4 billion or something like that.
So you could be
like
racist.
3 times it was worth before when he bought it in like whenever he bought it.
So racism, money buys you your race card. You can be whatever you want with money.
Right.
So do you really think these owners give a fuck about appearing racist?
But that's the thing. So yes, they don't care. They don't care, but when we're talking about progression and actionable items within the black community and protesting was one thing because this is the premise that Jay-Z presented to his fellow black people around the table.
Yeah.
Colin Kaepernick started the protest.
Yeah.
And he's not belittling the protest, or he's not telling people not to protest.
Right.
But at some point, we have to take actionable steps. So you have to take these actionable items and put them into play in order to actually influence actual change.
And Jay-Z in itself is an actionable item.
Right, but you're only being actionable on the business side. So the commissioner side of the business, but the commissioner is a puppet of the team owners.
Yes.
So if the team owners doesn't like the commissioner is gone and they hire a new one.
Yes.
So if you really want that actionable item to be effective in changing the culture of the league, you need the man with the power in the room. Period.
And that camel got to step 1 foot at a time. You trying to get that motherfucker to fly across Africa. But you can't do that. That's a camel, Dad.
So, but here's the thing, though. We can do that, and we're in an age to where we can do that.
Devin, these white people are all the same.
So here you go. Back to my initial point as we wrap up. We need to start our own league.
Google this. When the fuck did the NFL start?
A long time ago.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
Do you know the NFL had about 8 fucking teams when it started?
Yeah, it's expanded.
It's expanded.
Right, just like the NBA.
How long was that fucking expansion give you that?
It was, what do you mean how long was it expanded?
How long did it take for the NFL to become the actual fucking NFL?
Probably like in the 70s.
And it came out in the, 40s?
I don't know.
So essentially, it took about 25, 30 fucking years for the NFL to... Huh?
You heard me? I said, I don't know. I'm just making stuff up.
Oh, look.
You said, I
Introspective Insight.
All right,
Introspective
Let me
insight.
look this up. Go ahead.
So essentially, why... And then you... Not only will it take you gaining fans, but you have to deter fans.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No,
you
you
have
don't. No, you
die-hard
don't. No, you don't. No.
NFL.
You know what the product is? The product is not the owners. The product is not the merchandise which they're selling. The products is the players. If the players leave, yes, it is.
No, it's not
yes.
anymore.
How you gonna tell me? How you gonna tell me?
Because the NFL.
I played in the NFL.
You know what? He's right. He's goddamn right. He's Eric Mangini over here. Fucking
all right. I just
all natural Tom Brady.
I had to go in there.
I see Dwayne Wade and Tom Brady. Which one?
Dwayne Wade. I'll take my 3 rings over the 6 rings.
Damn, I don't forgot. Oh, all I'm saying is, not only is your team probably gonna suck the first fucking year, you're probably gonna have some
1920. Sorry,
1920
was when it first, and then
the first Super Bowl was what 1950 something.
I don't know.
But that's when everybody came together.
1920 is when the American Professional Football Association started, and it had 10 teams in it from 4 states.
10 teams. Okay. So if we were to start something, it'll take about 30, maybe 40 years for it to even become a thing.
1960 is when it had all 32 teams.
So it took it 40 years. And these is diehard fans we're talking about now.
I don't believe that. I don't believe
that.
I mean,
I'm not opposed to starting it, but it'll be really hard to.
For example, before we end, I want to give a very practical example to where the loyalty lies. Mm-hmm. When the NFL had the lockout in 2012, I think. Mm-hmm. The year of the lockout, I think that's when we won the championship in Miami. The first one with LeBron. Anyways, when KD was playing at Rucker Park,
he still says Dwayne Wade ain't even playing.
That's a fact. No, back in the day. Either way, Miami's still my team. Regardless.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant in Rucker Park.
Okay.
You had like the Jamal Crawfords playing in the Pro-Ams, and you had all these players playing in different places, and they had them places packed out.
Yes.
They getting their money still, having these places, smaller courts and stuff, but they're having these places even outside packed out because people want to see them play. So if you go and you take all these players under me, whatever, I'm just throwing out commissioner, right? Okay. So under me, and we go, so LeBron comes and be like, yo, Dev, let's start this league, da-da-da-da. just I need you to go out and
How you
do
gonna
this,
pay
that, and the
these
third.
players?
No, listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
You pay it with the same way they getting paid now. So listen,
You gonna be making NBA type money?
listen. You missing the point.
Okay.
Right? Because again, it's gonna start off with crowd. It has to. It has to start off with them putting up. LeBron got all the money in the world at this point. Like he got a lifetime contract with Nike.
But the players.
But so hold on, wait a second.
Okay.
You have to generate first, right?
Okay.
So you have okay, all right. I'm listening. So if you take the product, switch the product
Okay.
over here, like
Okay.
taking away, completely detach them from the brand, which is NFL, NBA. I'm just using those. NHL,
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah.
You take the product away from the brand becomes nothing because they have to hire amateur
Yes.
players in, so the product won't be as good.
Okay. I agree.
So now it's gonna be: do I put my money in this amateur league, or do
Okay.
I go with the pros that I know that can play at a high level?
Okay.
Regardless of wherever they're playing, they could be playing in the Syracuse Dome. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna pay this much money. So
Yeah.
bro,
You
see what I'm saying?
You can't go from spirals to those floppy ass.
You jump right. So it's like, yo, where am I gonna go? Am I gonna pay for these people to play, or
that
if I'm gonna?
sounds good on paper, man.
Man, listen,
But logically,
you see,
the only issue with that,
Ice Cube is doing it with retired players, and they're playing half a court.
you see how
Half a court.
You see how you said retired players?
It don't matter. They're giving no. And you want to know why he's making money? I got to get closer to you because I'm old now.
Okay.
You want to know why they make money?
Okay.
It's because these retired players still have a follow base that want to see them play ball.
Okay.
So he's selling out whole arenas for a half court game.
So let me ask you this:
for half of summer.
Are these niggas getting 30 million for 5 years?
They can't.
All right.
They can't because of the
All right.
no. They
Okay.
can't because it's under one umbrella. There's no teams. Like it's 3-on-3 teams, but it's under the one umbrella. They
So
probably getting
even more
compensation.
to my point.
They're getting compensation, but they're not getting
They
those big
can-
contracts.
Okay.
Because they're not selling merchandise per team. Like
Okay.
and it's not incentives and things of that nature.
So that being said, is the exact reason why it wouldn't work. Nobody's leaving that big money.
Get out of here. Yes, they are. I don't want to hear nothing.
Hey, Dad.
I just told you. I just talked to LeBron last night.
Hey, Dad. You see, you holding it with your right hand, right? I want you to take your left hand, just slap yourself. All right, just go ahead.
It's possible. It's possible. It's definitely possible.
I love your dreamer's mentality, man. That's what we need in America.
Yeah, it's
Black
you,
men dreaming.
It's you type of people that keep us oppressed.
Practical, man. We got to be more practical. That's
That
bullshit.
is practical. No, it's not. That's practical.
Okay, I'll put it like this. It'll only work
Because the
if
only way
the richest.
Look, here you go. Hold on, wait. This is the spin. I forgot to throw in the spin. The spin is once you take their product, they're gonna do anything to get their product back.
Oh hell yeah.
So once they see that you have the potential to generate money, and they start to lose money. It's a boycott. So you're still playing at a high level. You might take a pay cut for the 3 months, 4 months until they figure out. Oh, wait a second, we're losing money. Now you have negotiation power to be like, all right, we need more black owners. We need more black stuff. I don't care. We need blackity black.
There's only been 2 times where that shit came close to happening. The first one was the Negro Leagues, and the second one is AN1. You remember AN1 basketball?
Well, yeah, but that's different though. And
No,
one is still here.
it was not.
And one is still here. It's just
No, they
the
bought out
Globetrotters.
AN1.
Globetrotters.
No.
That's still AN1
Globetrotters and AN1 were 2 different things.
Well, I know, but
They bought out AN1.
monopolization, which we shouldn't be doing because that's against the law. But whatever.
All I'm saying is,
What you saying? Because what you saying is
if that shit took that long to maturate,
it's N1.
and the Negro League, we get bought out. Why? Because big contract money talks.
Okay, but it's all about being a business partner as opposed to a product. You can negotiate. You are the product. If LeBron leaves and bring people with him and start a 5-on-5 league, he's gonna pull more people. He's gonna pull more people away from the NFL and NBA to the point where the NBA is gonna offer him something to come back.
Yes.
So it's all about creating that leverage. It's not about literally.
Wait, what you're saying is he will have to say no to keep it into the black businesses.
No, he would have to create the leverage to come and negotiate. Like for example, Colin Kaepernick created leverage for Jay-Z to come in and negotiate this deal with the NFL.
Okay.
Now, I feel like that negotiation should have went a different way as it pertains to the rollout of it, but Colin Kaepernick he created that leverage so Jay-Z can step to the NFL and be like, listen, there's a problem. This is how we can fix it. But these things have to happen. And these things did happen. Whatever those things are, because they didn't indulge on the details. But nonetheless, they happened. So if players had that same mindset collectively, this has to be a collective thing. This can't be one thing.
Right,
but collectively, to go and kind of start their own league, just to create that leverage to be like, all right, it can be just like how the NFL went from the AAFL, the APFL to the AFC and the NFC, and then under the NBA, so the American Football Conference, and then the National Football Conference.
So is this about getting more money out the establishments or creating our own?
We can create our own by leveraging what the establishment wants.
But if we join the establishment without them changing
they have to change. That's a part of the leverage, the negotiations. So they have to change.
Is the B NFL?
Yes. We can be the NFL.
No.
We can take over the
NFL. Like, they just add a B in front of that.
The black NFL. Yes, absolutely.
It already is the black NFL.
Yeah, it's already the black NFL anyway.
So, yeah, also we just take out.
It's leverage, though. At the end of the day, through all the jokes and everything that we done went through, it's all about leverage. Leveraging the man. And negotiate.
The New England Wagwans.
All right. All right. Y'all already know.
What's good, nigga?
I hope y'all found some insight into this.
Yeah, you know how the NFL shield is red, white, and blue. Nah, it's Wakanda colors. Forever.
Yo, you know Michael Bennett. He said that.
That would be funny.
No, he was supposed to say, you know how like in the beginning of football games when they go to lineups, they say their name and what college they came from.
Yo, yeah, he said.
My boy said Wakanda forever.
Yo,
like I was like, black people always doing the wrong thing. Like, what you doing that for?
That's the right thing. Fuck that. Fuck that white man college.
It is the right thing, but it was just like black people always find a way to like just disrupt. But it's okay because that was a great disruption. But like, because I used to do the same thing. Like at Wegmans, I used to be like, yo, I hate following this script. How you doing today? Did you find everything okay? Good. Like when you say, how you doing today? Good. And then they ask you, how are you doing today? I say, good. I'm like, I wonder what customers would do if I said I'm having a horrible day. So one day, I was telling my customers I was having a horrible day. And then just to see their reaction, because I'm like, I'm tired of following this script. Like, who told people that this was okay? This is boring. And it's small talk, and I hate small talk. So I started telling customers, oh, how your day? They say, good. How was your day? And I said, it's horrible. And they'll look at you and be like, oh.
Yeah, you get sympathy.
And then I'll be like, I'm just playing. I just wanted to see what your reaction was because I always say
I'm just playing, man. I'm pissed off. I'll start throwing shit. I'm pissed off.
I'm tired of this.
I'm tired of this bullshit.
You start scanning stuff mad hard.
Nah, nigga. The worst part would be, oh, you got some chips? All right. Your total would be $27.83.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't use my hand sanitizer. One second.
Excuse me.
Can you hold this real quick?
Don't take none of my chips. Yeah.
Man, all right, man. Y'all already know.
Yes, sir.
Bringing us to the ears for next week's show.
Goddamn right.
This is RoyalFlexTheBrand's Introspective Insight Talk Show. I am KingDevDoe.
And I am Shannon Shenanigans.
No, it's not
here. I love
here.
you.
Oh.
I think we should start calling it Shannon Flex the Brand.
What'd you say at the end of the show?
I love you.
But hold the fuck on, I'm not finished. We keep doing better and we keep doing knockdown. So I'm gonna tell people this is your homework. Fuck trying to convince you. I want you to go home tonight. I want you to listen to Thomas Sowell. I want you to listen to, hold on, I got you coming. You look, my nigga. All right.
Yes,
so
right there.
I want you to listen to Walter E. Williams.
Yes.
I want you to listen to Antonio Moore. I want you to listen to Yvette Carnell. I want you to listen to the economic strategy of Elijah Muhammad and Marcus Garvey. I want you to listen to the political strategy of Stokely Carmichael. I need you to get on your study and prove yourself worthy shit because I'm tired of arguing who got the best master. You are already free. Now, nigga, act like it. Do your research. Do your research and decide what's best for you.